All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. 800-239-9569. You want to get in. I apologize to a couple of you that have attempted to get in. We had Paul Feinbaum. Couldn't get to you there. We will attempt to get to you shortly. You can also text into the show, 205-834-9450. You can tweet into the show at Mac and Cube. Always be a part of the show there. So, transfer portal quarterbacks. I've seen a lot flying around in the last 24 hours about one specifically in a $5 million NIL deal and the undisputed heavyweight number one quarterback portal in the world. That there's no doubt about it, that there's not even close, that Brendan Sorsby is the number one quarterback in the land, in the portal.
Portal land.
If we just went quarterbacks that have been available this cycle, is Brendan Sorsby your top quarterback that has been available? I will go. Let's just go through some of the quarterback names that have been available. Yeah, don't give me yes or no just yet, but these are some of the top quarterbacks that are going to be in the portal: Sam Leavitt, Brendan Sorsby, Drew Mestemaker, DJ Lagway, Dylan Raiola, Deuce Knight, Byron Brown, Rocco Beck, Josh Hoover, Austin Simmons, Ethan Grunkmeyer, Kenny Minchie, Aiden Childs, Bo Perbula, Aaron Philo, Cutter Boley, Caton Hauser, Colton Joseph, Anthony Calandria.
You can just go ahead and just all of them.
Ashton Daniels.
And I'll answer the question this way. While I have a tremendous appreciation for the upside of many of the aforementioned guys.
Aaron Nolan.
Heck yeah. He's back.
Alonzo Barnett.
Is Tate Martell still in the portal?
Not this time. Jackson Arnold. Michael Hawkins Jr.
Hang on. Now you got my attention. Who's in?
Michael Van Buren.
No, the one before that.
Walker White.
The guy that was in Breaking Bad?
No.
He knows how to pass on drugs.
That was
TJ Finley.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
TJ Finley?
Yes.
Another order.
Is he portal plus NFL draft? A double up?
I believe so. Jaden Rashada. At one time, the number one quarterback in the world.
In the history of the world. League. In the history of the world.
Level.
So there's your answer. Who's the number one quarterback? Jaden Rashada, apparently.
Jaden Rashada out of high school. Jaden Rashada out of high school. Either the first overall pick or portal.
I'm going to give you one more.
All right.
Because just remember, this was the new Allen Iverson. This was the answer. Remember, and y'all feel free to call us back and tell us how right you were that this was the answer to all the problems.
Deuce Knight. Too soon?
Before
him?
This is BD.
No.
Before Deuce.
Not the guy that went to Iowa.
Holden Garner is in the portal.
Homecoming?
Y'all told us he was the answer to the problems.
No, the big tall drink of water was the answer to the problems.
Hank Brown?
Yes.
Don't believe he's in yet. I'm going to say yet, by the way.
Him.
He may not have woken up yet. The graphics guy is working hard.
But I'm just saying, Holden Garner, Walker White, both in the portal. We were told those are your Iversons. Those are your answers. Maybe not always the answer. So I go back to my original question of the Van Burens, the Jackson Arnolds, the Alonzo Barnetts, all in the portal, the Aaron Nolans. God, there's been some names that people put their names on, boy. Who is the number one quarterback that has been available this portal cycle?
So here's the thing. What are you going for? You got to ask yourself that question.
Number one, ability to take a snap.
Under center?
Both, either.
Don't you dare. Pistol. You better declare. Pistol.
Number two.
Punt snap.
Completions.
Helpful.
Number three, ability to throw the football away.
In that order?
Snap number one, yes.
Okay, fair. It usually starts there.
4, not throwing receptions.
Whoa. Now you're asking too much.
I'm asking a lot.
You're
I get
asking
it.
too much.
I
Let's not get
understand.
carried away here, okay?
Yes.
We can't. Beggars can't be choosers. All right. Just let me get the snap first, and we'll figure the rest
Then
out
we
later.
got the rest coming.
Okay. The answer to your previous question about Sorsby specifically, and nobody wants this. Nobody wants this because, wow, look how stars. What you want is you want a guy with a high floor in many cases, depending on where you're at. Like, where are you at in your program's development? Are you now at a point where you are expecting to be in contention every year for the college football playoff? Are you at a point right now, or you want to win the national championship? Are you someone that needs to jumpstart the program? Like, are you in, like, what Auburn needs to recruit towards is very different than that of what Indiana needs to recruit towards. What Texas Tech needs to recruit towards is very different than that of what USC needs to recruit towards at the quarterback spot. You know, what Tennessee needs to recruit towards is very different than that of what Kentucky needs to recruit towards. Does that make sense to anybody else? Like, based on your expectation level, you need to gauge your quarterback assessment accordingly.
Yeah, I hate to say fit, but I mean, that's essentially where you're going.
Kind of, but not really. Like, if you're Texas Tech and you know you're going to put a ton of money in the defensive line every year, you've clearly developed a philosophy of trying to create a great mentality along the defensive line. You can clearly get a little better at quarterback. Quarterback run as your friend with their style of offense. Having a high floor prospect that will not lose you games is of significance. Who would you rather have if you are the Las Vegas Raiders and you're picking number 1 overall? DJ Lagley or Brendan Sorsby? It's not even close. Like, it's not even close. In the NFL, you need the upside. If you want to go and contend, you need the upside. But guess what? Lagway's going to lose you as many games as he's going to win you. And he's going to win you some now. Like, he's a dude. We've seen it before. But he also is going to throw it to the other team a few times too. Or at least he did last year. Maybe you can coach that out of him. So that's, I think, the big challenge is that you are having to assess where you're at. And Brendan Sorsby has the highest floor in the portal. He might not have the highest ceiling, but he probably has the highest floor amongst all the top-level guys that have played significant snaps.
Higher than Levitt?
Yes. Did you watch Levitt against Mississippi State?
There were a couple of rough outings. Higher than Josh Hoover?
Yes. His mobility automatically raises his floor a little higher than that of Josh Hoover.
Okay.
I love Josh Hoover. I think he's a perfect fit for what Indiana wants to do. I think Hoover's a very good player. Excellent. And
no, but I think your argument goes in, it may be a little bit different levels here, but it's a similar argument of Caden Hauser to Illinois, I think, is that you know what you're getting. And you probably know that the extension of what you're getting is maybe not great. But also that the reverse of what you're getting is also almost non-existent. Like, you're not getting a guy going backwards.
No.
But you're going to be very happy with the mid to low high level floor that you're going to get from that guy, because you're going to have all the other things around him that are also going to be solid.
100%.
So you don't need super playmaker come in there and do all the other crazy things, because you're going to run the ball. You're going to have good tight end play. Your defense can be solid. You're going to play complementary football on both sides. So therefore, hey, if this dude can come in and give us 22 touchdowns, throw for 2,900, 3,100,
yeah,
but he only throws 5 picks, and he knows when to throw the ball away,
yeah,
and he knows how to get us in the right play, then sign us up.
And guess what? He's going to give me 300 yards on the ground. He's a willing runner. Probably knows he's not going to be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. He knows he's going to have to get in college. So if we ask him to tote it 16 times in one game in the playoffs, like, he can do that. Like, his legacy will be forged in college, not the NFL. Like, to me, that's how I would handle it. Now, if I were a team like, say, USC, where I put a lot on the quarterback's plate and I need a high ceiling guy, love to have a high floor along with that high ceiling, but but my system is probably going to raise his floor automatically. Give me the guy with the highest upside. So I just think it's very different. If I'm Auburn, for example, so let's just talk about it from Auburn's vantage point. If I'm Auburn, I want the upside. Because right now, what are we playing for? The worst case scenario, we miss a bowl game again. Fine, we've done that 5 years in a row. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Like, give me the upside. Give me a guy that could jumpstart the program. And in this scenario, Byron Brown, assuming that's where he ends up, you're in a great spot. Why? Because we've seen him have success in this system before. And what is Byron Brown? Super high upside player, right? Like, decent floor, but pretty dang high upside too.
Yeah. It's there are a lot of quarterbacks that have made their decisions. I'm going to get your thoughts on some that know where they're going to be and know where they're going to go. Our thoughts on if you need a new home, where you need to go, it's pretty simple, pretty easy. It's Gusty Goulas and the Gusty Goulas Group, because they've served first more than 3,000 home buyers and sellers in the greater Birmingham area. Call 205-542-1996 to speak with an agent today, and they can do for you what they've done for so many others in Central Alabama. Over 855-star Google reviews, brokered by eXp Realty. You can trust Gusty's aggressive and proven selling system. My family has. They went above and beyond for what they thought they could do for us, not only getting out of a home, but getting into a new home. Gusty Goulas Group is here for you. They've been recognized both nationally and locally as Greater Birmingham, Alabama's #1 team in homes sold since 2012. So go to GustyGoulasGroup.com today, see what they can do for you. Call 205-542-1996 and start packing. Okay, let's look at sort of fit, system, operation, all of it. By the way, Lagway is on a visit as we speak. To
Baylor, Florida State.
Florida State. Which,
weird fit.
That's not the one that which, by the way, just also had this conversation with my 8-year-old over the weekend because we made reference to a certain Alabama basketball player and where he played prior, to which 8-year-old asks, actually for an 8-year-old, a pretty smart question. Dad, when a kid transfers, does he have the choice of where he gets to go? Because his 8-year-old brain said, well, hold on, he played at Auburn. Did they make him go to Alabama? Because, like, that doesn't make sense to an 8-year-old brain.
Yeah.
Nor should it a 28-year-old brain or an 18-year-old brain. But that's where we are, kid.
Yep.
I love the question.
I love the question.
I was like,
he can even be, hey, let me raise you one. Judge, Locke, just so you guys know when you're going through this, let me raise you one. Antonio Kite played at Alabama, Auburn, Ole Miss. And if I'm him, just saying, just covering the heart of Dixie, I'm going to go play at Mississippi State next year. I want both sides of the Iron Bowl and the Egg Bowl. No one's ever done that.
Imagine if you did want to go into broadcasting one day.
Think about how amazing that'd be.
I can give you 4 angles of 100%. 2 of the best rivalries in sports.
SEC Network, you looking for somebody? I can give great perspective on 2 incredible rivalries.
Only Rodney Garner has covered more than the SEC than I have.
100%. Amazing.
Why not? Go for it. But, yes, an interesting question there that we had, because we've had conversations about trades and professional players and why you don't always have a lot of control of that, and just you end up where you end up sometimes. But I want to go through a couple of these with you quickly. Sorsby to Texas Tech, I think you've kind of covered that. Now, Drew Mestemaker, that's not one that we would, I think, even have to debate or talk about, because it's his coach, it's his system. He's been successful. He'll be the quarterback at Oklahoma State. That will sort of be what it is.
I really like him, by the way.
He's
like a
great
pitching
player.
machine. He's just very accurate, great feel, great understanding. Really like watching that.
Underrated wheels too.
No, you can move some.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to design it around that.
He's Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, when he needs to tuck the ball and go, you're like, whoa, he got away from that. You know,
yeah,
a better north-south runner, but can get it when he needs to.
Yeah.
Byron Brown, Auburn, not really worth a conversation to have.
Is that official?
According to the 247 crystal ball, it is.
Whoa.
I don't think we've seen a graphic yet, but
Whoa.
yeah, I mean, it's.
Well, call me when you have a graphic. I don't even. Why are we even entertaining it?
Like the Rocco Beck to Penn State. I think the only debate you have there is he wants to play college football again, but I don't think he's going to be a first rounder. So therefore, financially, it's probably more intelligent for him to go to Penn State and play quarterback.
Answer me this. I know Iowa State, you play in some conditions, you play in some weather. How do you feel about his, like, I feel like he's a high floor player. Very, very high floor player.
Yeah, I think he fits the description of what you had laid out earlier almost to a T. Yes.
100%. Like, super high floor, know exactly what you're going to get. Like, jumpstart the engine a little bit at Penn State. Like, Penn State's a place with expectations, right? Expectations. Yeah. And the problem with Penn State is they've just lost games. last couple of years. Like they have a guy that loses games, like the Notre Dame game last year in the Orange Bowl, like just a terrible interception at the end of the game, right?
God, unthinkable. Now they lose
Unthinkable, terrible. So like you're going to get, exactly what you're going to get. Proven production. And I think it makes a lot of sense. System he's familiar with. It's just a big step up in competition, but still pretty good. Like I like that fit.
All signs also pointing to Austin Simmons to Missouri. That sort of fit.
Put anyone in Missouri's offense, they're just going to work out.
Anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Unless if he knows how to throw it, put a rugby-style punter that can punt it accurately to receivers. I feel good about it. The way they run the ball,
Tennessee signed one because that
the misdirection. Like I think that's a very quarterback-friendly offense. Very
intermediate accuracy, especially gets it out quick.
Throw it good on the run.
Yeah.
I think there's better fits for Austin Simmons, but I think it's a pretty good fit.
Yeah. Josh Hoover, Indiana.
Ideal. Like, could not make a better fit. Quick decision maker, good RPO, decent athleticism, enough athleticism, very accurate, good on the downfield throws. You look at, dude, they throw it downfield so often. And the accuracy on downfield throws is really, really impressive. Do you realize this year that Fernando Mendoza is completing 56% of his throws that travel 20-plus yards? 56%.
Serious question. Let's just say that is, you could probably quickly find the number of attempts. If that's 50 attempts, how many of those do you think were one-on-ones?
Oh, gosh, every one of them?
Yeah, they find matchups also. Like, it's just I
don't know that for sure, but I feel pretty.
It's a lot of them.
I feel pretty.
Aaron Philo to Florida. That's, again, same coordinator, same system. I'll be honest with you,
that one I don't. I know the coordinator, I know the system, I know the fit, I know the experience. Clearly, Buster has a great feel for Philo.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I think Florida could do better because we haven't seen enough of Philo. But to me, I felt like Philo's solid in the games that he filled in for Haynes King. I don't think he was like next level.
No, but it's a guy in the system with the intangibles, with the measurables that fits what you need him to do, and they'll be together again. So it's I'm not going to say absolute best case, but it's close to best case because of the known commodity. Cutter Boley to Arizona State. TBD.
Strange fit.
Yeah.
They just ask a lot of their quarterback to run the rock. Now, if they're trying to transition their offense away from some quarterback run stuff, I'm great with that. And if you look at Dillingham's history, he's utilized some pocket passers before, but Cutter Boley's he's a pocket guy. He's not a guy that I want carrying the rock. Unless you know something I don't.
He showed more with that than I thought he would be able to. Now, again, from a design standpoint, I don't want him carrying the ball 20 times a game, but I think keep a zone read every now and then. Like he's a step ahead of Jared Stidham, Jackson Arnold to UNLV.
I think it's perfect.
How many kids do we talk about won't go down a level? And I would have put him in that category. I would have said, I guarantee you he'll be at another P5 school thinking he's going to fight for the job and then won't get it again. Or will get it and then lose it and won't happen. Now you go down a level where things can maybe be simplified a little bit. You go to an offense that can utilize your legs a little bit more, and you get probably the reps that you're going to need, the snaps that you're going to need. Will not be surprised he plays 1 year there and then tries to go back up. Alan Mansky, quarterback to Penn State as well from Iowa State. Let's just say this. Iowa State has committed to Penn State.
Confirm.
So much easier.
Iowa State had 50 guys under the portal. 50.
He's going there too? He has eligibility?
Can probably make it happen.
Bring him out before the third and fourth quarter, see what happens.
I had some of them written down to Iowa State. I don't know where it went.
But
it's all of them. All the Iowa State
end,
guys. All the Iowa State guys are going to.
No, there's one. There's one that's going to.
Here we go.
Somewhere else.
Offensive lineman, cool. Running back, Carson Hansen, who's a really good player.
Very good. There are other running backs going somewhere else, though.
Rocco Beck, who we mentioned, wide receiver Brett Eskelson. There's a lot of them. All but one, as Greg says, are going from Iowa State to Penn State. But I do like what you said a moment ago about Penn State losing games. You're now getting a coach and a staff in that doesn't do that. They're not going to cost you games.
Mm-hmm.
In those close games, you're going to be in a much better spot, I think, moving forward to be able to win some of those highly contested games. And they're getting their guys to come in and start it. So we'll see if it works out. When we come back, Clark Brooks of the On3 Sports Network, a little more of a statistical analysis on some of these portal moves, who he likes the most, maybe some underrated from a statistical standpoint. We'll do that next right here on Jocks. Welcome back in, McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. We're talking transfer portal. We've given you our thoughts on some of the fits and maybe some of how that may look. Alex Page has a good question. At Greg McElroy, what are your thoughts on the Missouri offense now that Chip Lindsey's the OC? It's a fair question.
It's a great question, but I think Eli's going to do what Eli does. If you look at what Kirby Moore was prior to his arrival, totally different.
Yeah, you're going to run the stretch play. You're going to boot off it. You're going to play action off of it. And that's going to be something that's going to be a part of what you do, whether you've done it before. And I think Chip's offense is somewhat close to it. Now, the lateral movement, post snap, maybe not as much. And then other news from a quarterback perspective, quarterback Trinidad Chambliss has agreed to a new deal with Ole Miss, contingent on him having eligibility waiver request granted. This is like TJ Finley and then some. Finley's in the portal and doesn't know if he's going to have eligibility. Chambliss has a deal and doesn't know if he's going to be able to play.
Smart for him to come back, but if he continues to play like he's playing, and by the way, he's a little bigger than you realize. You might not have a choice. College? No, I'm just saying you might not have a choice. You might need to go. Like, he is balling.
Okay. Clark Brooks joining us now on the Higginbotham hotline. You can find him at the On3 Sports Network. Does a great job from a statistical analysis standpoint of different guys in and out of the portal. Clark, we talked a little bit today about how Brennan Sorsby seems to be everyone's just runaway leader in the clubhouse as best quarterback ever available in the portal. Massive deal in place at Texas Tech. How do your numbers view him as a college football quarterback and then going to Texas Tech?
Well, good morning, guys. Well, I think that he does best at the end of the day. Not a thing that's still not target covered the side pass. So we just saw Texas Tech ride this similar MO with Baron Morton. Not to say that he's, a complete miss and someone who was flawed, but he was not a quarterback that could get them to where they wanted to go, to where that Final Four, where that big payday for that roster is trying to get to. So it is a little bit of an interesting move to me that they did a similar move at the quarterback spot in terms of a high floor passer, fairly good at limiting mistakes, just be that offensive executive, take what's there. But when push comes to shove, I'm not so certain he's going to be the guy that gets him over the top because of his glaring accuracy concerns, targeting all over the field. So when you're looking at different breakouts, obviously against pressure, outside the pocket, stripping away screens and RPOs from his spray, the accuracy concerns are just so paramount and so in your face. For me, I just cannot say with a straight face that he would be the best quarterback in the portal at this point in time.
So who would you go with as the top guy?
Sam Leavitt. Yes, Greg, I'm still Sam Leavitt guy. This time last year when I did my quarterback impact study, so I'm charting these guys against their hardest opponents faced. We're not letting these poop states skew the numbers and distort our perceptions of these people. We're looking at good on good. And Sam Leavitt, I had 7 games against him last year. 7 were against top 35 defenses. He was one of the most accurate downfield passers. He had twice as many erase sacks as Aiken sacks last year. And even though he did not necessarily, play well this past fall, at the time of his injury, he was number 1 in EPA per rush. So that just tells you how dynamic of an athlete this guy is. So the knocks are he's 6'2". He doesn't necessarily see the field all that well. Anticipation, timing, trust over the middle is not lacking. So sometimes he'll take a deeper drop so he can see the field better. But when the ball comes out and when he sees things, few can do things better than what he can. So we actually upgraded him to a 5-star status over the weekend. So he, just for his downfield accuracy, his decision making, his next level traits in terms of just throwing downfield, it's really hard for me just to dismiss him, even if he himself is not a perfect quarterback.
Clark Brooks joining us on the Higginbotham hotline talking transfer portal players. Outside of quarterback, who would be the next best player statistically that you have available in the portal?
Well, we still love Cam Coleman. The quarterback situation in Auburn was not ideal. We'll leave it at that. But he's a dynamic, true Receiver build. He dominates that left sideline like it's no one's business. So even though, yeah, the stats are not there for him, they're not. But we just know that his traits will translate, and someone will absolutely make him a first-round pick wherever he ends up. And then it's Jacarius Peak. I said last night, I was shocked that he's going to be in the portal. I thought he was going to be a fringe first-round pick because he is an elite pass blocker, Cole. So looking at true pass sets, so these are non-screens, non-RPOs, non-quick game passes. They take at least 2 seconds. So you're really going against a stunt. You're in a true passing situation where you need to have something to develop downfield and to hold up. Only Spencer Fano had a better had a lower pressure rate allowed than Jacarius Peak, offensive tackle from North Carolina. We made him an impact 5-star last night. In our in-season impact rankings, he was already offensive tackle 4, so he was already primed to be in this elite category. So, again, I'm very shocked that he decided to come back because I viewed him as a top 50 NFL draft pick. But he himself, the statistics love him because he's an elite pass blocker.
What about other positions? Is there a position group right now that is uniquely strong in this year's version of the portal?
I think the edges actually are fairly okay, but you can't get away with just the quality quarterbacks that we have returning and that are already in the portal and are driving the conversation. They're the talk. So Sam Levitt, obviously, I mentioned earlier, but then you have Byron Brown, who is a freak athlete, probably going to end up at Auburn, coming from USF. So he has the skills that you just love, even if he has some rawness to his game. Drew Messemaker, of course, he took the sport by storm coming out of nowhere, folks. Under-recruited from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, of course, one of the most prolific passers in the G5 this past season. He's following his coach to Oklahoma State. He should be really, really fun. You have Josh Hoover committing to Indiana yesterday. Of course, a lot of people were seeing the tea leaves. He was going to go to Indiana, but another dude in my quarterback impact study last year that really shined because of his downfield accuracy. 13 interceptions this year, obviously not what you want, but in terms of like the precept processing, carving defenses in the short to intermediate games, few are better than him. Obviously, when you're an undersized pocket passer, the Drew Brees comps are just par for the course. But I do think he is that type of potential quarterback there. So, and then you have other guys like Caden Hauser and Colton Joseph from the G5 ranks who are fairly efficient guys in their own right, who might be able to make splashes in the in the P4 when they're able to level up from the G5 this year. So I really do think that at this stage, the quarterbacks are very, very stout, because then you have someone like Sorsby, who, again, I'm not the highest on, but he's a very, very fine option, and without question, a top 25 transfer who's just right there. So quarterback, I think there's a lot of good options right there in this class compared to last year's in terms of depth.
Talking with Clark Brooks from the On3 Sports Network, put statistical analysis together on individual players. I want to ask you about the other South Florida players that are coming to Auburn. A couple of wide receivers. Christian Neptune, he commits to Auburn. He played at South Florida. To go along with, as you mentioned, it's expected that Byron Brown will be the guy there. That might not be official just yet. Lachlan Hewlett, I think, more of a backup quarterback. Don't need to worry about him. But Corey Pettigrew as well, wide receiver coming in. Outside of understanding of system, familiarity with staff, how should Auburn fans view some of those commitments from South Florida as well?
I mean, yeah, the culture thing is real in college football, and just getting in your guys you can trust, guys you recruited from high school, you know who they are. You're not just judging their personality based off an 8-hour window when you met with them on campus like we are during the transfer portal. You know who they are. You have a better idea of who they are. And so bringing in that day-to-day mentality is huge, especially if you're trying to bring success with you to a stop like Auburn that has high expectations. You can't just fake this thing and get quick turn results. You have to plant the seeds, get these firm roots, and go about it in a multifaceted approach. You can't just do it through the portal. You have to do it through the high school as well, because, I mean, you look at places like Ohio State and Georgia and, the blue bloods of the sport, they're still consistent winners because they get good high school guys and guys that they can trust, and then they just they sweeten it a little bit through the portal. But, yeah, I think getting those guys who they have a prior relationship with is huge for setting that day one culture.
Finally, as you look through the teams that have already gotten off to a nice start. It looks like Indiana's gotten off to a really nice start, adding some pieces to the portal. Some of the teams with new coaches will have a ton of new players. Penn State's another team that has brought a lot of those Iowa State guys along with them. Matt Campbell's done a good job already. So is there anyone right now that's kind of setting the pace for the transfer portal classes in general?
I mean, I think when you have a $1 billion donor, you always have to keep an eye on Texas Tech, Greg. They're going to be major players. They've already had some splash defensive linemen who I think are pretty good. One of the more translatable things, no matter where you play, is pass rush win rate. So that's just on average, how often do you whoop the guy across from you? And that helped them find wins, obviously, in David Bailey and Romello Height, but they also found a win in A.J. Holmes, Anthony Holmes Jr. Oh, my gosh, like last year, like he was just a forgettable guy from Houston. You flash forward to today, his impact rate, so on a per-snap basis, how often are you getting like a havoc play, a defensive stop, was one of the highest at the position, and that was translatable because he had a high pass rush win rate this time last year, even if his other stats were kind of mellow. So they've been a very good team consistent the last few years, IDing that type of talent. And obviously, we already mentioned Sorsby earlier, $5 million payday. They got more in the bank to help put some more talent around him and be a contender for last year. So even though they already do have some more commitments, I would not stop paying attention to Texas Tech. I need to see what all they have in plan because they're going to be big spenders and they're going to go after high-level talent.
What about Alabama? I know they have a bunch of visits lined up this week. How are they going to fare?
That is an interesting question. So I think we first need to see what happens with Ty Simpson. So he did not have the best back half schedule. I think we all saw that. Once the jury was out, people started to get him to move off of his spot, and they didn't necessarily bite on that play action. He was far less effective. So we saw Mac come in, and oh my gosh, at 6'6", that dude has tools. So depending on what happens with that quarterback position, I absolutely could see them try and, regain some momentum. Obviously, they had some deflections with some 4 stars, losing right guard, right tackle, whatever you want to signify Wilkin. But, that's not worth nothing to losing a quality starting offensive lineman, especially since you think you're going to lose Proctor to the draft. You're going to have some holes up front. So they have opportunity to offer starting spots to people. It's just, are those quality level people that they need with those holes going to be there? At this stage, you can make an argument, yes, there is. But for what they need to do and where that program needs to be, I would say they need to be active participants in the portal, if not just to get some momentum in their back pocket, but to also, reload and make yourself a contender again, because you're going to have some draft deflections. So you definitely need to be prepared for that stuff.
Clark, great stuff, man. Appreciate you taking the time. Appreciate you giving us your insight on a couple of these guys in and out of the portal. We'll have you back soon, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. You guys have a good rest of your day.
There you go. Clark Brooks joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You can find his work at the On3 Sports Network. Does a great job just putting some statistical analysis on different players, what he thinks about them, at Clark Brooks _on3. You can find his work there. I want to follow up with a couple that he referenced and a couple that he talked about, kind of where they're going, what they might be. You mentioned Alabama, Greg. We'll talk about the impact there of some that have announced they will not be back. We'll do that next right here on Jocks. So I came across something this is completely like a left turn here. Wild. Parker Brailsford has declared for the NFL draft, by the way.
Really?
Per Bruce Feldman, Parker Brailsford, Alabama center, has declared for the NFL draft. Had an outstanding career at Washington and Bama. Will test very well. Number 20 on the freaks list, 6'2", 290, benched 505, power clean 385, vertical jump 33 inches. I think he will be drafted. I think he'll be on a roster for a long time. I think it does need to be the right system. I talked to Olin Kreutz about this. We talked about his son, who's a starting center in Illinois right now. Olin played in the NFL for a long time, one of the greatest Bears of all time. And we were discussing kind of like Philadelphia, Miami, teams that are playing with smaller centers right now. It's common. And obviously, I think if you can get into one of those scheme systems that allows for that, like Parker Brailsford will be in the NFL for a long time, I think.
Well, I don't have any doubt about him being in the NFL for a long time. I just wonder if he's actually 291.
Yeah, I think has been. Don't think he finished the season there.
I don't think he was. I think size is size. Big guys move small guys. That's that. And in the league, man, that's just hard. And he plays with great leverage. I love him. He's a great player. I love the guy. Absolutely love the guy. But I think it'll be tough sledding for him to be like a perennial all-pro. I think he'll be a really good player, though. I'd take him on my team any day of the week, twice on Saturday.
Speaking of NFL, I just happened to come across this over the weekend randomly. The 1993 Browns coaching staff. Now, there are two that are very obvious that people would know here. Can you name those two?
Bill Belichick, Nick Saban.
Correct. Did you know Phil Savage was on that staff?
As a coach?
A defensive assistant? Yep.
Did not.
Did you know Woody Woodenhofer was on that staff?
No.
He was the linebackers coach on that staff. Did you know Kirk Ferentz was on that staff?
Nope.
He was the offensive line coach. I had no idea.
O-line coaches are so back.
Ernie Adams, Jim Bates, Steve Crosby, Scott O'Brien, John Mitchell, Richard Mann, Mike Shepard, Jerry Simmons, Kevin Spencer, Gary Tranquil was your quarterback coach. Those were the other members of the 1993 Brown staff, along with Bill Belichick and Nick Saban. It just took some of those names took me off guard.
How back are the Browns? Well, Stefanski out? Is that why you're bringing it up?
No, they did have a player set the all-time single season record in sacks yesterday. So
are they getting the band back together?
Not that band. That's actually not going to be possible. But
why?
If they did, well, that would take some Jurassic Park-like measures to get a few of those back.
It can be done. Tom Brady cloned his dog.
He did, and I'm not sure that company wants any part of bringing those back. But nonetheless, yes. It just caught me off guard.
He said Jurassic Park-like measures.
Yes, that. I don't know how else you're going to get them. Some of those back in. Let's go to Cliff in Coleman. He has questions on college football. Welcome into the show, Cliff. You're on the Higginbotham Hotline.
Thank you. Happy New Year, guys.
You too, buddy.
I just had a couple of questions / thoughts on the portal for y'all. I know Corey Grant did it years ago. He transferred from Alabama to Auburn. Outside of that, I can't think of another example. I just can't imagine, and I ask this because y'all mentioned Antonio Kite transferring from Alabama to Auburn, and you made a joke about him transferring to Mississippi State. And I know there's talk about Cam Coleman taking a look at Alabama. I can't imagine y'all, guys from y'all's generation, like I can't imagine Julio Jones taking a visit to Auburn or Ben Leard taking a visit to Alabama. What is it that – I know there's no loyalty, but what is it that there's no even loyalty to rivalry? That just seems like a strange dynamic to me. And then also my second question, do you guys think it would not benefit these quarterbacks, especially like Walker White, to sit in a system rather than jump from system to system every year, wait their turn and become an expert in a system and thrive for even if it's just a year or two rather than jump around and you'll never hear these guys' names again, I'm afraid. I just wanted to get y'all's thoughts on that, and I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a great call with some great points. I do think we'll hear some of these quarterback names again because they're going to be transferring to different schools in another year or 2 years from now. So we will hear them again. And then they're all going to be granted extra eligibility, so that'll give them more opportunities to transfer somewhere. And then, by the way, you don't even need eligibility to be in the portal. A la TJ Finley. Trinidad Chambliss has a deal. We don't even know if he has eligibility next year. So you don't even have to be able to play, and you're just in the portal. I don't know why Greg's not in the portal right now. Just maybe, if, possibly, pretend like it might happen. Could happen. I don't know.
I would die before I played at Auburn.
I think most people in our era would.
I'm just being honest. And I like Auburn.
Right.
But
I remember when James Willis became the linebacker coach at Alabama, and this was probably, I don't know, like 2009, 10-ish, 11-ish, something around there.
I remember when he came, we were like, I don't know about this guy. He's a Manchurian candidate.
And there were people from Auburn that are like, he'll never be welcome back on campus again.
Yeah, I remember.
He can't come back.
I remember.
He's done. And now it's just
T-Rob.
But that by then it was a little less like
100%.
we hate him for that. It's kind of like, oh yeah, I guess that's just what they do now.
I understand.
You know?
Yeah, I get it.
And then a former Alabama offensive lineman becomes the O-line coach at Auburn, and you're like, I guess this
is what we're doing now.
That's cool.
I root for Auburn in all but one game.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely. Like, I really do. I know it sounds weird. I know a lot of people don't understand that. You guys know, you've listened to the show enough. I've always said, if Alabama's 11-0 and Auburn's 11-0, then we have the greatest thing ever for the state.
Yep.
And I root for that. I really do. I genuinely want Auburn to win. I would die before I put on Navy and Orange. I'm just being honest. I don't understand the thought process. I don't know how you do it. I'm not saying I blame the guys. If there's an opportunity, you acknowledge it. Like, it's good. I get it. But if I went in the portal, there's one school that is off limits with 100%. Well, take that back. There's 3 schools that were off limits for me. 3.
Auburn, Tennessee, LSU.
Yes.
Texas A&M.
No. I would have been fine.
Money's good there.
Okay.
And honestly, frankly, after 09,
we just know you're a big Texas homer.
Right, so Texas. So those are the 4 schools that would have been off limits. Like, off limits. I'm sorry, they're off. Can't go. Anywhere else, totally good.
Yeah, I
do not contact from those 4 schools.
Makes
and you
sense.
would do the same thing.
No, I wouldn't. I would never play at Alabama.
Exactly. Like, you just can't.
I think it's cool that you even say you root for Auburn in certain things because I won't even say that.
You won't
I do.
Can't say
It's
it.
people over places. Like, it's people over
I
places.
do understand that, there are certain things that are good for business, both here and in TV jobs. But
no, there's people over places.
different.
Can't do it.
Telling me
I do root for people. Yeah. There are a lot, there are guys on Alabama staff right now that I root for.
100%. I root for people. I root for Bruce Pearl. I root for Stephen Pearl. Just like I root for my school. Like, I mean,
you can also root for people to lose.
Huh?
You say you root for people. You can root for people to lose.
I'm
saying you can.
different level.
If y'all hear me say I root for something, it might not always be to win.
I have a rooting interest in all games.
All right, we'll discuss this more next right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Appreciate you guys being with us. Transferring to rivals. TJ Lagway on a visit to Florida State this weekend. Obviously, we saw a former Auburn player, Nathan Holloway, lead Alabama in scoring as they knocked off Kentucky over the weekend. It was a nice win for Alabama, by the way.
Very nice.
89-74. Alabama gets to 11-3 on the season, 15-38 from three. Had 17 assists in the game. Aiden Holloway's 26 points. Kentucky goes to 9-5. They were just 4 of 19 from three. Auburn goes down in overtime at Georgia. Georgia 13-1, by the way. Auburn out rebounds the Bulldogs 50-35. Georgia shot 11-29 from three. Auburn 8 of 11 from three. Tahad Pettiford had 25, but he fouled out, wasn't available in overtime. Auburn fortunate to get that game to overtime. One of those late game scenarios where under a minute left, down 5, you got a foul, hope for a missed free throw. You get the missed free throw, you get the tip in, and you go to overtime and then unable to hold on, be able to win. Georgia had a couple nice possessions early in that overtime to be able to knock that out and get the win. Auburn goes to 9-5 on the season. But going from one rival to the other, it seems unthinkable. It doesn't seem feasible, possible. It doesn't feel like someone would leave Alabama, go play for Auburn. Vice versa. It doesn't feel like anybody would go from Mississippi State, play at Ole Miss. It just doesn't seem like that would be real. And, we could go Ohio State, Michigan. You could go USC, Notre Dame. You could go Texas, Texas A&M. It just doesn't feel like anybody would even have the desire to do that. Even if you didn't grow up a fan of that team, GMAC, understanding everything that it was once you did it and the hatred that was there from the other side, because you'll feel it, you'll know it, regardless of how much you play, don't play, that anybody would even want to bring that upon themselves. But here we are, and we're doing it on a regular basis.
Long-term prospects, too, in the state. Unless you're running for political office, you can't have both sides of the aisle, big dog. Pick a side.
Sure about that?
That's why I roll.
You roll with the tide.
I'm just
You roll with the tide.
I don't know how you can, if you are flip-flopping between rivalries, what's to stop you from going to my competitor down the road if I'm hiring somebody in the state of Alabama?
That is true.
I'm an HVAC company. Why would you not go to the other one? They gave you a slightly better deal. Where's loyalty? Can't do it. Can't do it.
It just feels wrong.
It does.
Can't do it. I'm sorry. Can't do it. In this state especially. You might be able to get away with it other places. Not here.
Mm-mm. But we are getting away with it in certain spots. So
only if he comes to our school and is really good.
That's it.
Yep.
Back with more next.